Welcome everyone to the stream. This is episode 12 of the Seregen campaign. I'm the Wombat of DM, and with me we have Belzian the Half-Elf Monk, Roger the Elf Rogue, Ulrich the Human Paladin, Yarvik the Halfling Ranger, Zippo the Kobold Warlock, and of course the NPC Jordan the Bard. So, last we left off, we had arrived, we had left Jewel, the town, you might say we've spent most of this campaign so far in, having kind of exhausted all inquiries in that area and milked Jewel for what it was worth for the time being. The group decided to move north to New Pod, in I believe an attempt to discover more about the bandits they had heard that were in the north of Jewel. So they arrived at New Pod, went into the tavern that was in the center of the town. It's kind of at the crossroads between the two, the King's Road and the East Road, and they talked to the barkeep briefly to find out that indeed there are bandits in this area and they've been harrying this town for some time. Some families had even moved on from the town at this point due to the attacks. And that's where we left off last time. So I will leave it into the group's capable hands of what they would like to do next. Welcome, everyone.
Happy to be here. Wait, where is here? Where are we standing right now? Are we just
You're at the tavern.
At the anvil? At the anvil?
Yeah, at the anvil. So,
I'm sitting.
so welcome to New Pod. I believe New Pod should be showing up on.
Look at that map.
Yeah, I made it's fresh off the press. So the tavern is that building right there. In fact, I need to send this to the map layer. Yeah, there we go. So, as you can see, New Pod is quite a different entity comparatively to Jane or Jewel or Ari even. It's just a smattering of buildings. In fact, I would say there is maybe half more this amount of buildings just out in the landscape with the farms that are dotting the area around New Pod. It is a farm town. This is kind of the central area of the village, but it really kind of spreads out across the countryside.
I think I need to go into the anvil and investigate our duck sausage prospects.
So we are currently in the anvil. It is the evening. There's not many people in the bar. You guys have been, or the tavern, I should say. You guys have been talking to him for a few minutes now. And he doesn't seem to have anything ready for food at this point.
Well, because I don't remember if we asked last time. While we're talking, Zippo will be like, "So, how around what times do the attacks happen? Like, is there like a set like they come at a certain time, or is this sporadic?"
There's not really any rhyme or reason to the attacks. We haven't been able to anticipate them. They just happen every so often. Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's hours, sometimes it's days. It really
When was the last attack?
about a week ago.
About a week ago. Okay. So they're probably looking to attack soon.
Where do they attack from, and what are the numbers?
Yeah, I know it's been 2 weeks, but he did talk about how the largest number had been 40 riders that had attacked several of the farms north of the town center. That's probably the largest number that they had. So that's the amount. And what was the other question?
That was the ones that I had.
Okay.
I think they were attacking from the forest to the north.
Oh yeah, forest to the north. Oh, you said direction. I knew there was a second part.
Yeah, that's what the summary says.
I'm very sorry that these attacks have been happening. Very unfortunate, yes. But in your memories, have there been any distinguishing marks or emblems on the raiders' apparel or horses?
They're all dressed in dark clothing. That's about.
Hmm.
I actually, they haven't come through town in some time. They've just been harrying the outside farms. A lot of the families have actually taken residence in my inn, and have left their homes to the bandits. They go back during the day, but at night they stay here in case of an attack.
Do you have any rooms for travelers?
We have one or two. We are but a small inn, and most of the rooms are taken. I could probably spare 2 rooms for y'all.
Would it be better to sleep in a room or to sleep in one of the people's houses in case an attack comes? We can be the first ones alerted, since we're probably the best equipped to fight them off anyway.
That's what I'm thinking of. Kind of set up an ambush.
Well, you're more than welcome to talk to some of the families tomorrow, but most of them have retired for the night at this point. Plus, allow me to be frank.
Hello, Frank.
No, I'm Gunther.
Well, I mean, it's you're whoever we're allowing you to be who you want to be, Gunther or Frank or Steve, if you like.
Well, in any case, what I'm trying to say here is, well, you're strangers here. I don't know if somebody would be willing to house you in their home, even if you are willing to help without proving yourselves. We've had a mistrust of travelers after some bandits actually posed as travelers and stole from the general store. So,
I mean, to be fair and not to be mean or anything, if we wanted to steal, we would have already done it. I mean, we could have got it and left if we wanted to.
he his eyes kind of grow more suspicious at this, and
Gunther.
he
Sorry.
he doesn't really seem to take kindly to that kind of line of reasoning.
These people seem poorer than the monks in the sanctum I come from. I don't think there's much to even take.
All right, now, just to clarify here, no one was looking to take anything. No one's here to take any of your money.
There's nothing here for me that I want to take.
We may be strangers, but we are good strangers.
Yeah, and this one, the dog's the brains of this outfit here.
Hey, just because Brunhild's smarter than me doesn't mean you can say it out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want a treat, boy?
I would actually very much like something to eat.
Hey, here you go. And he pulls out like a little candy.
Zippo will take it and then go sit in the corner.
Out of curiosity, what kind of candy do you have?
It's like a Werther's original.
Okay.
Ooh, that's the good stuff.
He's at his, like, I think, what, 30 something, but yeah, he has that good old grandma candy.
Yeah, apparently. So it'd be the 2 rooms then?
Yes,
Yep.
should we stay the night and then question some of the locals when they're awake? Or
Yep.
do you think we should go hunting for some bandits in the dead of night when we're tired and hungry?
I vote sleep and act when we're well rested.
Yep. I mean, worst case scenario, we're gonna be woken up and spring to action. But
I once read a book. It involved an inn, not unlike this one, called the Prancing Pony. And some bad things happened at nighttime at that inn, I tell you. Maybe we'll see some action while we're sleeping. That will be exciting.
How are we supposed to sleep it if we're asleep?
I always sleep when I'm asleep.
So the barkeep hands you some keys, puts or slaps them on the table. He says, "I'll have something ready for you boys in the morning, but sorry, my heart is cold tonight."
all right, we've got some rations and the like, so we'll make do. Now, here you go, Belgian. He gives Belgian one of the keys. I think you and I should be in separate rooms. I'm not looking for any action in my bed. Thank you very much.
Oh, my. Understood. So who's with me? I'll sleep on the floor.
Yarvik can just like sleep in a big drawer. It's, he's fine.
Open the sock drawer, make a little pillow with the socks and the tidy
The
whities.
rooms were 5 copper each, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to say Ulrich will take the 5 copper each for the rooms off his stuff.
Okay, so it's 1 silver.
Yep.
Thank you for your continued assistance.
That's what I'm here for.
We appreciate you. Your endless supply of money.
I appreciate all of you and your endless supply of killing.
Woo! Kill him!
Yeah.
Well, good night,
the,
Gunther.
Killing in the morning.
the closest thing yet I've heard to you guys admitting to being murder hobos.
We didn't say murdering. We said killing.
And we have a roof over our heads.
Big difference. Murder tramps, perhaps.
Ulrich and Roger at least canonically have a home.
That's right.
So, speaking of a place to lay your heads,
Murder-fication.
how's the group splitting up for sleeping?
We got 2 rooms.
Yeah.
This is the hardest choice I've had to make all day.
Well, Jordan and Zippo obviously pair off with each other since they're
I
used to
assume
being in the
Roger
same
and
room.
Ulrich are pair.
Okay,
And they're
so-
also both small. I mean, Zippo's small, but Jordan's a shorter fellow.
Yeah, and he has a bag.
So I guess Zippo and Jordan can go with Belzian, and then Yarvik can go with Ulrich and Roger.
Sounds fair.
That way it's 3 to each room.
Before we go, I am going to inquire with the barkeep on the sausage situation for morning breakfast. I really need to know what are we looking at?
You can expect some eggs and some oat bread.
So no poultry-based sausage then. Okay, that's
Eggs
fine.
are like poultry-based sausage if you scramble them.
He looks at you flatly and says, "This ain't Jane." The rooms are fairly small, with one single bed each, and one window. They're probably 10 by 10.
Well, Zippo will have Brunhild lay down, and then he'll lay on Brunhild. So
Okay.
Yarvik will find his way to the chair by the window, pull his hood up, and light his pipe and smoke pensively while staring at the door as the light goes down. He read it in a book somewhere.
As the group is discerning rooms, Jordan offers to identify the items in question from Oric's hoard before he retires for the night.
That's a good idea.
Thank you, Jordan.
What a talented and interesting fellow.
I'm sure whichever of us is holding on to those items will hand them over to Jordan for identification.
Of course.
He takes them all.
Mind.
So he's going to look at the small mirror with a wooden frame, the gold locket with a picture of the turtle, the small gold bracelet, the potions, the larger potion, and the scrolls. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Portal locket.
So we figured out one room. How about Belzian, Ulrich, and Roger?
I think Jaeger's with Ulrich and Roger.
Oh, okay. Belzian, what are you doing with
He's with me and Jordan.
Yeah, so are you taking the bed, or are you taking the floor?
Belzian will offer the bed to Jordan as he might be tired after all this ID,
Okay.
but watches Jordan's work with intense interest. Like,
Jordan settles on the bed and gets to work. He takes the 10 minutes per, rather than even though he has a habit of not using up spells that he could use. Judging from the bone snake you guys encountered while you were sleeping last time, that's probably a good habit to have. Okay, so Roger and Ulrich, who's taking the bed, who's taking the floor?
I'll take the floor. I don't even need to sleep. I'll just meditate.
Okay.
All right.
We'll barricade the door with whatever we have on hand, though.
So the only thing that you could really barricade the door with would be the chair that Yarvik is sitting in.
We'll do that before Yarvik goes to sleep.
Okay. If Yarvik was planning on using the chair as his seat for sleeping, he can sleep on the door, basically.
It doesn't really matter. Yarvik's used to sleeping in a tree. He can kind of sleep anywhere.
Fair
He
enough.
has to have duck sausage.
is there a tree in the room?
He's been spoiled.
All right. So the evening passes without incident. There's no bandit attacks that you're aware of. I'm assuming nobody kept watch. Is that correct? I know Amethyst, you only need 2 hours, but
4 hours. But
4
yeah.
hours. Okay. Excuse me.
I mean, Roger will be not like actively watching since we're in and in, but
Right.
at least awake and alert in case something happens.
Okay.
Zippo did not watch. He just went to sleep. And also, out of character thing, while I'm thinking about it, if something happens to Zippo, whatever town or something happens to Brunhild, whatever town we're in is getting destroyed. Zippo will go to town. He does not care.
I mean, you're gonna already be in town, so you can't go to town.
That's fair, because the town will be, just getting destroyed.
Right.
Because Brunhild died, and it's their fault, and I don't care who they are.
I'll keep that in mind.
It'll be the end of the campaign if that happens. Brunhilde's too.
Everybody has to fight Zippo now.
Wait, you'd burn us down too?
I mean, if you're not on my side, not friends, not your enemies, I'm sorry. But I am curious, Zippo would like to know about the turtle, especially. So when we wake up after watching Jordan identify, he'll be like, so, is the magic amulet with the turtle in it going to make me able to summon turtles?
So, as you guys meet up in the morning, you're served boiled eggs and oat bread. and a brownish looking liquid that is water.
Oh, delicious. Brown liquid. My favorite.
Chocolate water.
Let me see if I have. I don't think I do, but purify food and drink would be great. Nope.
You have gone. One thing I will say for both Roger and Ulrich, since you are familiar with this area of Seregen, you have gone down past Jewel from Jane or along this intersection of road many a time, and you can't for the life of you really recall this town. You're sure it was here, you just never stopped here before. It's one of those like like you always travel along a certain route and you see a sign for an exit to go somewhere and you never really have been there, but you're familiar with the name. Like the name New Pod sounds familiar, but you've never actually stopped in this location. It's usually you've hit it like midway through your journey. But by all accounts, it's certainly a backwater town. Or a brownwater town?
No duck sausage.
Yeah, no duck sausage. In fact, there's no bodies of water in this area. The closest is the river to the west.
Yeah. I think once we get the water, Ulrich will say, "I don't have anything, I don't know, like a beer or anything like that. It's a little stronger for the morning, get us going the right way. Also, what's up with your well? Unrelated note."
So he has beer in a cask, and he pours you one. It's a little early to be drinking there, wouldn't you say?
I think a single drink of beer ain't gonna kill anyone, especially when your water is about as cloudy as your beer is.
He just is like, he kind of gives you a look like, ho ho ho, Mr. High and Mighty used to clear water, but he doesn't actually say anything. And he says, we got a well up on the hill by the church. It's the only well in town.
Is it drying up?
Well enough.
Perhaps it's not feeling well.
Yeah.
Well.
I think this pun well has run dry, but do you have any problems with that? You seeing the bandits out that way? Does your water always look like this? Just curious.
Has anybody died after drinking it?
Water's safe enough. It might not be the best tasting water, but it does the trick. It's been like this for most of my time here in New Pod.
Roger will take a drink of the water. It's cleaner than it is where I grew up.
Yeah, it's it has kind of an iron taste to it.
Just a
Like
little bit of
a metallic zing. Yeah.
It's just a little bit of minerals, or it ain't gonna kill.
Oh, I'm immune to diseases anyway. I just I have what's called standards.
So
Belzian consumes everything and is very grateful, and a thumbs up to the 12, He's just happy to be here.
Does the town have a watch or a guard or even a garrison?
It doesn't even have walls.
It doesn't have walls. It doesn't have a town guard. There's no royal guard in New Pod. It's just a small village, small farming village. Many of the people, Gunther continues to explain, basically have either died defending the town or left. So it's just a group of 7 families that are left in New Pod.
Okay.
By the way, let me give you what Jordan identified. So the mirror in the wooden frame, the gold locket with the picture of the turtle, and the small gold bracelet are all non-magical. The 4 smaller red potions are potions of healing. The larger one is a potion of greater healing. One of the spell scrolls is a cantrip for mold earth. There's 3 level 1s. One's light. No, sorry. There's 2 other scrolls. 1 level 1 light spell and 1 level 1 charm potion.
Very sad I can't summon turtles with the necklace, but
Yep.
Army of
Unfortunately, it's
turtles.
not magical.
Yet.
Sure.
Well, how about we go and ask some of these families when they start waking up?
There's a whole 7 of them.
Well, not all
how
7
many is
of
in
them.
each family?
Not all 7 of them are at the inn. There's 3 families at the inn.
How many are in each of the families? I'll ask the bartender.
Well, there are some that have many children, and some that are just the couple and a couple farmhands. We have the sow bottoms, the reeds, and the large thistles here. The rest are either out at their farms or live in their homes in town.
Okay. So do we want to split up? 3 of us wait here for the 3 families that are here, and the other 3 try to find the others at their farms, preferably, to try to get as much information as quick as possible, since we don't know when we're going to be attacked.
Sounds like we have an investigation on our hands.
Simple.
Several members of the families petered down. There's a few young men, a few older men. Same with the women. There's a few younger women, a few older women. There's probably about 4 or 5 children, 2 of which are twins. And as the morning progresses, it just gets more and more, not crowded, but more lively in the tavern.
Upon seeing the twins, Zippo will pull on Jordan's arm and be like, "Are they casting like a different image? Because this is his first time seeing identical twins." He's like, "Are they spellcasters?"
No, but I wouldn't stare. Twins are usually considered bad luck.
Oh.
That's prejudice, Zippo.
I wish I had a twin. It'd be awesome having a second Zippo.
I'm fine with the one, says Jordan to you. he kind of elbows you playfully.
Having had Right Yarvik, it wasn't the best experience. Or was I left Yarvik?
You were right, Yarvik. In both cases of dual individuals, it was both times it was the right person, both literally and figuratively.
Our right or their right?
Our right.
Also, I did side chat you about the thing that appeared on my spell list.
Okay, give me one moment.
So I didn't notice it till just now.
I accidentally just froze all of us. Not helpful, Belzian. let me see what you side chatted me.
So Zippo will also be like when the families come down, he'll like ask the rest of the party, do we need to start talking to them now, or should we wait till they get breakfast in them?
We can wait. What's the hurry?
We don't know when the next bandit attack is happening, and it'd be probably better to know, like, their experiences with it.
Probably not during the daytime, would be my guess.
Might be a good time for a couple of us to break off to one of the households that's been attacked. See if we can find any clues in the aftermath. Weapons they've used and left behind. Their kind of attack patterns.
Yeah, Zippo, if you're feeling antsy, why don't you and Yarvik lead the charge on that one?
Okie dokie.
So what we'll do is we'll wait for. I'm thinking we'll wait for one of the families, find out where their abandoned house is, and then we'll go there.
Alrighty.
Which family do you want to talk to first? Not that we'll be able to identify them easily, but
They're not wearing name tags? What is this?
we got the sow bottoms, the reeds, and the large thistles.
You can ignore that, Zippo. I don't know why it's doing that. But
I'm a fan of talking to the reeds because it's a lot easier to pronounce.
Sow bottom brings up some imagery.
thistle bottom.
What is that?
Sorry, sow bottom and large thistle. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sow bottom.
Yeah, when I opened my sheet and I saw that, I was like, I didn't know I was going to get that. I was like, that's cool. I can't cast it because I don't have any, spell slots for that. I probably won't for a while, but
Meteor Swarm.
it gave me, the necklace wasn't supposed to, but it gave me plane shift.
I think I modeled it off of an existing amulet just to get the basic stuff. And obviously, oh, here it is. There it is. Delete.
Bye-bye, 7th level spell.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
It's fun while it lasted.
The best part was that it was castable at will.
Yeah, I think it was, I modeled it off of Amulet of the Plains just because it was an amulet or something like that.
Fair enough.
Alright, should be saved now. Thank you for that catch.
Yeah, I don't want to be like in the middle of a fight and me cast it and you'd be like, when did you get that?
Right, yeah. Okay, so the group is splitting up, it sounds like. A classic trope that you all tend to follow to the T.
There's 6 of us. We can afford to split the party.
That was a fair notion.
So, who's doing what?
I think Zippo and Yarvik are going to go talk to a family outside of the inn to see where they live.
Well, we're going to talk to a family at the inn. They're here because they lost their house. So they were going to find out where their house is, and we're going to go there and look for clues.
I think the rest of us are going to ask stuff of the other families.
Yeah.
So, everybody's going to be leaving the tavern. Some people are going to a burnt-up tavern, and some people are going to... Or not tavern. Burnt-up home, and some people are going to a still standing home? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. So...
We do want to make sure we get back to the tavern by nightfall, though. Just because that's when an attack is likely to happen. We agree to meet back at the tavern at or before sunset.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Synchronized sundials.
Set your chronometer now.
All right. So Yarvik, Belzian, and who else is going to the burn-up house?
Zippo is.
Okay.
And Brunhild.
Jordan will stick around with Ulrich and Roger then. Who would like the items that he identified? Or do you want him to hold on to them?
We just split the healing items up between us.
There are 5. One's a greater, and then there's 4 minor.
Everybody else can have one. Zippo doesn't want the power of one.
I vote that Ulrich gets the greater since he's the tank.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think Ulrich or
All right.
Rolfin should definitely have the bigger one. Because they're the melee people.
I'll take a regular potion. Okay.
Zippo and Jordan can split the scrolls because I don't think the rest of us can use them.
Okay.
Zippo, do you want Mold Earth or Charm Person or Light?
I'd say probably Mold Earth.
I thought you'd say that, being subterranean and all.
Yeah. I don't need light because I can see in the dark, and Charm Person is cool, but why charm somebody you can kill?
I actually give light to Yarvik since he's also a caster.
Actually needs to be able to see in the dark.
Right. I mean, I do too, but I have other means of creating light.
Yeah, dancing.
Yeah, I would also, after having spent the last part of the mission, not the last part of the campaign, not being able to see Jack. Yes, I do now have 2 lanterns.
Yes. All right. So we'll say that burnt up is 1 through 3, and non-burnt up is 4 through 6. Non-burnt ups have it. All right. So Ulrich, Roger, and Jordan decide to head out to kind of get a lay of the land throughout the area of New Pod. Are we walking, I assume?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good. I don't think we
Yeah.
can reasonably take the carriage.
Yeah, so there are kind of makeshift roads that head out to the different farmsteads, but nothing like it's not like a permanent, well-kept road. You know what I mean? I assume you don't walk across the fields. You kind of walk adjacent to them.
Yeah, we'll take the roads.
Okay. I only ask because you could do a straight shot, which will take a lot shorter amount of time to get to farmsteads, but going around the fields or threading through them will take longer, basically.
We'll be more respectful.
Right. So you see that there are probably about 12 farmsteads that are out away from what's depicted on the map. So basically all the farmsteads you see on the map itself of New Pod, none of which are part of the farmsteads that you see kind of encircling the northern end of the road, the King's Road. There's actually not much to the south, just the 2 farmsteads that are close to New Pod that you see just on jutting off of the map. So pretty much all the farms are to the north toward the forest, basically. There's still several miles before the forest, so it's not like the farmlands go right up to the forest's edge. It's mostly plains. The only rise in this area is really where New Pod sits. You can see that there's kind of like a hill that the church is on with buildings around it, and then the lower part where the road goes down along where the tavern is. So of the 12 farmsteads, it looks like there are 8 that remain. 3 have been burnt. Sorry, 4 have been burnt. I can math. And they're the most northern and eastern farms. So, like, if this was New Pod, up here, 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 and here, and they're all in kind of perimeter of New Pod, like the farthest ones out.
Are those by chance the ones in the direction of the wall?
Yes. But I mean, the wall still isn't. You can't see the wall from here. It's still that far away. You'd be able to see the wall, and let me just bring up the overworld map again. So, like, you can see we're about on the same line. We're just a little bit over in terms of longitude. Is longitude up and down? I think so. We're just 1 bar over in terms of longitude. So we're not, and as you can see, the wall kind of corners out. So, like, it's actually farther away from you here than it was in Jewel. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Longitude is east-west, latitude is north-south.
Yeah, okay. So latitude then. You're only 1 degree over latitude-wise, or 1 square over. But yes, they are on the same side as where the wall, the direction of the wall.
Well, let's approach Farmstead and see if we can flag down anybody now that it's probably well into the morning. People are waking up and about.
Give me a perception check, please.
Sure. 24.
Okay, you easily spot a farmstead that's closer to town that still has people working at it. You see several of the outer farmsteads have been abandoned. There's nobody working the fields or anything of that nature. It's more the ones toward town that are still in operation. You assume that the 3 that are more to the west are the 3 families that are living at the tavern now, that are displaced.
Let's go up to that farm and flag down some people.
So you approach the main home, and you see a plank that has painted in blue letters, Mardex, the Mardex. So one would assume that the last name of this family is Mardek. That's Mardek.
M or N?
M as in Mary.
But not M as in Manson.
No, not Mem. Not Mem as in Mamshi.
I suppose we'll do the neighborly thing and knock on the door. Or if there are people outside, wave to them.
Yeah, one of the farmers kind of dusts off his hands as the 3 of us approach. How can I help you there?
Howdy. We wanted to ask about some of the bandit problems you've been having, or if we want to help.
You want to help? Huh.
Yeah.
And who are you?
My name's Roger. I've fought for the king in the war, and now kind of just looking for some purpose in life, I suppose.
Name's Matthew
Fair.
Mardek.
Roger will
All right.
shake his hand. Nice to meet you.
Jordan Bordelot, at your service.
And I'm Ulrich Oakenhurst. So, you're pretty far out here. What's kept your house safe?
Well, luck probably. Listen, they've been attacking the homes around the surrounding. I'm just hoping to get as much as I can before it comes my turn, or hopefully I can defend my farm long enough that they'll go away or leave us alone. I don't know why they're here. I just hope they go away. I ain't leaving my home though.
Understand. It's any of the bandits are all not from around here, I assume, right? No locals have left to join them.
I can't say that I know if any bandits are one of us, but I certainly hope not. It's a small town, you know. We get along by helping each other. Ain't no good come from but one of us betraying our own. But I mean, I ain't ever recognized a bandit that we have managed to kill, which is few and far between. Usually they just take what they want and go. They don't seem interested in wiping us all out. They have the opportunity to kill several people and they've let them go.
Do you know what they do seem to want?
Well, they've taken supplies, they've taken gold, they've burnt homes and fields, scared people off. I don't know what they want.
Sounds like they want the town.
Yeah, that seems like it to me as well.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Nor me. Why would they want New Pod?
I wasn't going to say
Where,
that.
you know, I got some theories, but I'm not. I mean, do you have any untapped resources that you're aware of?
Oh,
Matthew?
yeah, we've got a magical trove of treasure right under my basement. Fuck
Well,
no.
I mean, that's fine, but has anyone ever
we
done?
got food.
Yeah.
He gestures to his crops of grain.
Enough food to feed an army, maybe.
Nah. Maybe a group of people. More than just this town, but I mean they've burnt crops. So obviously they're not interested in that either.
Right now. See, what I'm wondering though is, has anyone ever done any kind of survey or anything like that of the land? Any geological evaluations?
Ain't nobody paid New Pod no mind in a long time. I'm surprised you all stopped by. People who do stop by hear one lick of trouble and they're gone.
Well, I mean,
We are at least 2 weeks, maybe 3.
yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I missed
We're gonna
that.
get to the center of that treble pop.
I think I missed the beginning of that, Amethyst.
Said we're at least 2 licks of trouble, maybe 3.
So, actually, sorry, breaking character there. DM,
Yes.
what you said there is a church. It's this building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the well is.
Yes. Well, it is like here. Yeah, that works.
So, I mean, not. I think Ulrich is just kind of curious about the metallic water and what services the church is actually offering. Not to just fish in any pond he can here for reasons that people would want this town.
Sure.
But that's maybe an eventual stop. It's back towards town. So
Okay.
Also, out of character is somebody who grew up with well water. Iron in the water is not special.
yeah, I know. I grew up with well water as well, but I'm also just again fishing for. There's jack all in this town. Maybe there's metal to be had in this little hill here.
A reason for the meddling.
Yes, exactly. A reason for them to be meddling.
Anything else that you'd like to ask Matthew? He's kind of dusting off his hands again, like just itching to get back to work.
Do you know anything about the forest to the north? The feller at the anvil said that was where the bandits were coming from.
There's a pretty thick forest. A lot of good hunting out there. Every once in a while, the king, when he doesn't hunt the reach, he hunts the forest to the north, though never anywhere near down this far south. But bandits have taken up in those forests. We're not sure where. It could be anywhere really along. It's a pretty big forest if you've seen the maps. But they've been, from what I can tell, they've been harrying travelers not only in Newpod, not only harrying Newpod itself, but harrying travelers to the east and west along the King's Road as well. And he thinks for a minute, he's like, I think they... one traveler that stopped in the town, he asked us about the bandits. You might want to check the general store. I think the bandits have stolen from him, but also the person who was asking about the bandits stopped at the general store before he left, and that was before
By how
the
long
bandit
ago?
attack. About I mean, this has been going on for over a month now. So this is probably about 2-3 weeks at most.
Alright.
And not Belzian's friend with the book, and not our friend with the red hair, I suppose.
Oh, I'll bet you 10 gold it is.
No bet.
That's the
Thank you very
safest
much.
bet you can make.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate your help, and hopefully we can be some help to you.
Yeah. He heads off.
Oh, hey.
He
Before you
stops.
He tosses him the potion of healing.
The big
But
one.
he got the big one. Sorry, I'll buy more if I need. Just in case you need. They do come. Well, no, wait a second. You said they aren't actually harming anyone?
I mean, they've harmed a few people, but
No one's died.
no one's died.
he's not actually tossing that to him. He says, "All right, well, I just needed to ask that question." And he awkwardly puts that back into his bag.
He kind of tosses it back at you, and he's like, oh, "All right, thanks anyway." And
I ain't gonna need it.
He kind of takes off his hat and starts scratching his head as he's walking off.
So I guess we're heading back to town to go check out the general store and the church.
Okay, this sounds like a good time to get to the other group, who is interviewing the Sobottoms. Is that what I heard?
Whoever has the burned down house.
Yeah, so Sobottoms, the Reeds, and the Large Thistles are the ones with the burned houses. The last family is not present at the tavern, because remember, there's 4 burn up.
Very suspicious. Maybe that family is the bandits.
Maybe they run off to become bandits. We'll have to look into this.
To do some internet research.
All right, so who are you looking for in the Sobottom family?
I'm assuming the patriarch.
Yeah, like Pops, Mr. Sobottom.
Okay, so the Sobottoms are a family of halflings. Probably one of the reasons why Yarvik stuck around. The family is run by 2 female halflings who seem to be a couple.
So, I'm Yarvik, and trying to figure out what's going on with your bandit problem. Can you tell me what it was like the night that they attacked your house? Was this the first time they attacked your homestead?
Well, they've been attacking for seems like months at this point. For us, we've been here for about 2 weeks now. They attacked and lit the house on fire, and we barely escaped with our lives. We've lost everything. All of our possessions were in that house.
I know it was at night, and they're right. They're all on horseback?
There was about 20 of them on horseback when they attacked. They were screaming and yelling, and they had torches, and they lit the house on fire, and the fields, and we fled to town.
Did you hear anything they said? Did you hear what language they were speaking?
They were just screaming. They weren't saying, like, get out, or hello, or give us anything. They just were screaming and making noise. And
Were they our size? These other halflings, you think?
I mean, it was dark. I couldn't really see them. I could tell they were on horseback, and there was a lot of them.
We'd like to go out to your home and take a look around, see if there's anything interesting. You guys, are you okay with that?
I can take you.
And she takes aside her partner and talks to her, and then comes back and she says,
Are you ready?
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I'd like to see the inside of the house to see if it looked like they were looking for anything in particular.
Yeah,
But
we
no questions
we
at
can
this
go there, and you can do what you need. I'm not going in though.
Okie.
"Can you guys understand me all right, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't know if the microphone picks it up well or not."
Yeah, it's picking it up well enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked pretty good.
Well,
Go ahead.
let's just say while we're walking or making our way to the house, Ervik is going to ask, uh, did you lose anybody in the attack, or did everybody make it out okay?
Everyone made it out fine. One of my sons broke his leg when he stepped in a gopher hole, but other than that, everyone came here unscathed.
You guys have any livestock? Did they take it? Did they kill it?
We had horses, but they were gone when we came back.
Did they burn down all your outbuildings, your barn, your grain stores, stuff like that?
Just the home itself. The fields caught fire close to the building, but the rest of the farmstead remains intact. We work it during the day, but we stay here at night.
So she leads you out to the easternmost farmstead that is burned, and sure enough, it's a 2-story home. It's larger than most of the buildings that you saw in, for example, Jewel. Which was more of a city with closer, tighter packed buildings. This is more like a farmhouse traditionally, although it's caved in. It seems the fire has thoroughly burned through the house. Part of the problem with a town this size is when the only water to pull from is the well in the center of town. Some of the homes outside of town probably aren't able to, put out fires as easily, probably.
Well, it's probably not going to be very safe, so when we get to the house, Zippo will get off of Brunhild, because he's been riding her the entire time.
Right.
And whenever he gets off, he'll tell her to sit right here and not to come to the house, because he doesn't want her to go get hurt.
Garvik's going to ask, do you have a cellar? Is there anything in? If so, is there anything in the cellar?
Just Zippo, could you give me animal handling? So, Broomhild sits down when you tell her to sit, and you head toward to the house. When you're about 10 feet from the house, you feel Brunhild nuzzle your hand, expecting a treat. Jorvik, there is a cellar, but looking at the house is... The second floor is caved into the first and sunk into the cellar, so it's pretty thoroughly inaccessible to get to the cellar at this point. It's basically the whole house is sitting in the cellar. You know what I mean?
Kind of rubbly.
Yeah. So I'd like to find out if there's anything I can learn about, the tracks. Do we see any weapons that they might have left? Just looking for general clues.
All right, could you ask that question again, please?
Just going to take a look at the surrounding area, the area around the house, if they were on horseback. Just trying to learn anything I can about their numbers, maybe what size of horses they had, footprints, if they left anything behind, they leave any weapons behind, or any other stuff that might have fallen off their horses. Just anything that might be able to give us some clues or some ideas.
Give me a survival check, please. So you're able to ascertain that a group of bandits, or the described group of bandits, definitely came through this area about 2.5 weeks ago. Because it's been so long, you're not able to tell the exact number, but it was definitely more than 5. But they kind of, when people travel in groups, you eventually the amount gets lost in the hoof prints, right? There is no evidence of anything left behind, but you do find that there is the smell of oil on the northern side of the home, where it looks like the fire began. It looks like an accelerant was used to create the fire.
Okay. How about the outbuildings? Ask the homeowner. Can we look in your barn? Can we take a look in there? Is there anything in there that you have anything of value in there? What did you keep in there?
She explains that was where the horses were, and their barding and feed and things like that were. There was also some supplies and other things that were for storage, such as like tilling equipment or like reserve crops and things like that.
So when talking to the homeowner, when you were leaving, I know generally if there's a practice that there's a fire or something and you think it's going to spread, they'll unbar the doors to the barn to get the animals out. Did you leave the animals locked up in the barn?
Yes, we did. We ran for our lives. We were afraid they were going to kill us. We ran the town so that we could have more people defending us.
Okay. And it looks like the barn's empty.
Barn's
Is there anything in
empty,
the barn?
unlocked. So as you go in, all the stalls are empty. There's no... the barn's been picked pretty clean at this point.
It's interesting.
The horses might have been the only thing of value. They're just humble farmer folks.
That's what I'm thinking. If they're looking to replenish their mounts, the horses, is the house even almost a distraction to get more horses? Talking within our group, I'm hoping we're out of earshot of the owners. It seems like they're just looking. It seems like maybe this was even a distraction just to bolster the numbers of their mounts. Who knows?
I could see that. While we're also looking at the house, does it look like there's any small holes that Zippo might be able to like burrow through that are safe enough to burrow through, or does it look like if you add too much pressure, it will just like crush the whole rest of the house?
Give me an investigation.
17.
You find a few spots you could probably worm your way in.
Okay. Well, Zippo will let everybody know that he's planning on trying to worm his way in. It's like I might be able to go in and see if there's like anything left behind, maybe something of familial importance to them or something like that, and then he will go to whichever hole looks the safest and like worm his way through it.
Rather than me roll it, give me a percentage check, please.
49.
You said 49?
Yep.
You find a silver necklace with a gemstone pendant. And an obsidian statuette.
Okay.
And it looks
Zippo
like of
will-
a small halfling.
Zippo will grab both of those and come back out of the house.
Okay.
Then he'll go over to the owner and show her both of those. And be like, these were left in your house. I don't know if you'll want them back or not.
They're both intact, and she seems overcome with emotion as you hand them to her. Even if they're small trinkets, obviously any connection to her former life is bringing on an emotion from this profound loss.
I think
She thanks you profusely for that.
It's no problem.
I think it would be a great benefit to see one of your neighbors' houses that has also been burned. Do you think they would have a problem if you took us to one of their houses to kind of look for the same things you're looking for here?
Well, I need to gather the family so that we can start working the fields. But I don't see why anyone would have a problem with you. You kind people looking into this.
And she points in the direction of the 3 other homes that were burned. The one closest to you, which is the one northwest of you, she says that home begins to a family that's no longer in New Pod.
Okay, yeah, we can go check that one out then. And then Zippo will hop back on Brunhild.
I think we should probably head to that house and see if there's any kind of we can discern a pattern.
Yeah, see if there's any
Yeah.
inconsistencies. And if there's no people around to mind, nobody will mind.
Fair enough.
All right, so as you travel there, let's go back to the other group. So you head back to town, and I believe you said you're heading to the general store. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So the general store is the diagonal building the door faces the intersection of the King and East Road. So both are very purposefully placed in the crossroads.
Head on in, assuming it's unlocked.
You head in. It is unlocked. There is no one at the counter, and there is very little to show for on the shelves. At this point, it seems like a few ropes hanging, some basic foodstuffs, and a barrel filled with salt. It's labeled salt on the behind the counter with a kind of a scoop.
This is where the stuff.
Say again? You kind of broke up
This,
there.
this is where they're keeping the good stuff. Our breakfast could have used some salt. So when we go inside and see that nobody's there, Roger will say, "Hello? Anyone in there?" I guess
Hello.
knock on.
Hello. Yes. One moment. And you hear like a scrape of a chair, and a man with a a crutch come hobbling out from the back. Yes. How may I help you?
Howdy. We're travelers coming through the area and heard
Speak
you
up, boy. What?
We're travelers coming through the area and heard you had a problem with bandits.
Yes.
We want to
yes.
help.
Bandits. Yeah, we have had trouble with bandits. Yes, I see you've heard of them. Yes, they've been attacking the town for sure. Yes.
One of the farmers we talked to said there was a man that came through a few weeks ago asking about bandits that stopped through here. Could you tell us about him?
Well, that was That must have been before that I was attacked and they took all my things. And he kind of gestures around at his empty store. He's like, there was a man that warned us about bandits that he encountered when he was traveling along the road toward the town. But they hadn't really bothered us too much. We'd heard that rumor before. But he had said that they had introduced themselves. Oh, what did they call themselves? And he kind of like, kind of slams his hand against his head, trying to dislodge the memory. The Retribution of Shades of Retribution, yes. That's what they were called. Seems like a stupid fucking name. But sure enough,
I think having shade in any name is dumb.
Okay. I'm not one to disagree, but yes, they seem to take everything non-discriminately. Anything that wasn't nailed down, the only things I have here are the things that they either left or that I've gotten since then. And that's where we are.
It seems like they've more or less cleaned you out.
Yep.
Did you get the feller's name that came through by chance?
No, I did not. I can't even remember what he bought at this point. Yeah, he has no idea.
Oh.
Just to roll openly, I rolled a 1. He has no fucking clue. He does remember that he was a cat folk. Yes, he had whiskers and the whole 9 yards. Tail, I haven't seen many cat folk stop by here, so I remember that, but I don't think he gave me his name. And I don't remember what he bought.
Cat, probably.
Had a cat name. Okay, so I was improvising for a second, and I was pulling from real life, and I was about to say, had a cat named Shadow once, maybe that was what his name was, but that would have been, like, raising red flags and be hilarious, so. I was like, wait, no, can't say that, because I did used to have a cat named Shadow.
Maybe there was like a Shadow R and like Shadow C, like different. They have the same first name, different last names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we named the cat Shadow because it was just slipping in and out in the night. We'd only see her at night. So.
Do we recognize the name Shades of Retribution?
No. I mean, you can... you haven't gotten anything recently about them, But you could give me I guess a history check, if you'd like.
Yeah, why not? 5.
I'll give you this. You think that if you had known what this group's name was beforehand, you would have had the name already from your spy.
Gotcha.
Your spy friend, I should say.
We'll at least be able to pass the name along the next time that we changes.
Yeah.
Well, Ulrich, there's not much left in the store here for us, I don't think. Unless you want to buy a couple pounds of salt.
Got all the salts I need. Now let's go see the thing I'm salty about there, nasty water.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Shopkeep.
He gives you a dry laugh, and he says, "See ya." He doesn't even give you his name.
Did the laugh dry up because of all the salt?
I guess we'll go to the church next then, right?
I mean, it is probably the most official building in the town, right?
Next to the tavern.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the tavern did seem to be like a town hall for the town, which is interesting because traditionally you'd think that the church would be. It's a bigger building for sure. But before we go to the church, I'm going to go back to the other side. All right, so the other group heads to the Mrs. Sobottom said that the family that used to live there was named Banton, Bantins, the Bantons. Go ahead.
Just be very curious to see what the pattern reveals.
Okay. So you get to the location, and you can see that this area has more damages than the Sobottoms. The fields, either the fires spread more thoroughly and burnt more of the fields, or whatnot, but it seems like this might have even been a fire that happened earlier than the farm to the southeast of here. You can give me a survival check if you'd like to check this area out.
That was actually the first thing I was going to ask.
All right. So it seems like the damages here are probably about a month old at this point. This might have been the first farmstead to have been attacked, which also might make sense why the family is no longer in town. Judging by the damages, there is no longer a barn. There is no longer a house. The fields are burnt. There's no livestock. It seems pretty thoroughly destroyed here. It also looks like there's a greater number of horse prints that have gone through here in the past, more recently than a month ago.
Can I tell if there was an accelerant used, and if so, was it the same accelerant used at the Sobottoms?
Give me an investigation, please. All right. So, the barn, while charred and burnt, didn't collapse like the house did, and like both of the houses did that you visited so far. The barn is basically a husk, like the beams held, but it's all charred inside. On the second story, you can see kind of stuck in the wall the charred remains of what look like arrows. 3 large, thick arrows that are stuck into the side of the barn.
So more like war arrows than hunting arrows.
Yes.
Any bones of livestock, or did it look like the livestock made it out of the barn?
There are cattle that were in this barn that are charred. Bones of cattle.
So it looks like if there were any horses, they're gone from this place as well. But here they started in the barn. Do you guys think it would be worth checking out another homestead, see if we can further the pattern, or do you think we've learned what we need to learn?
It's like a pretty routine thing. They go in, light fire, and then steal whatever kind of horses or anything they can that would better themselves, but nothing extra. Like they didn't steal the cows, which could be used for milk or food if they absolutely had to. They only stole stuff that they could ride or use in combat.
Right, very nomadic kind of warrior, more warlike kind of raiding party stuff. I mean, we know it's a raiding party, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like they know what they're doing. It doesn't look like they're using magic. Like they're using oil and maybe fire arrows or torches.
Zippo, is it, you sense anything magical going on here?
Do I feel anything magical around this place?
You can make an Arcana check.
Let's hope. I don't roll a 1. Hey, didn't roll 1. 17.
Given by the smell of oil and the arrows sticking out of the wall and the arrows that are sticking out of the Arvik's pack that are similarly shaped and sized, it doesn't seem like there's anything magical about any of this. But you could think of quite a few spells that could do the same type of damage.
It doesn't look magical, but if they were using magic and they just used these to cover their tracks, I know a couple spells that it was possible with. But I think we have a general idea. It looks like I would assume that the time it takes for them to raid again is based off how many numbers they either lose or gain in whatever combats they get into, and also how long it takes to set up a plan of figuring out which house has what they need. I don't feel like they attack them at random and just hope. I feel like it's more of a, this house obviously has a set number. We need this set number, so we'll attack this house today and get what we need.
Do you think they do like a stakeout kind of thing?
Yeah, so the only downside to that is that puts everybody in town against each other, because there's no way you wouldn't notice a stranger in a small town like this. So one of the people in town has to be working with them.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
An interesting theory for sure.
Do you think there's a chance that we're being observed right now?
I've got my money on the barkeeper.
Gunther.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I get being nice to people you know in all your life and letting them live in your tavern. But also, I mean, I feel like there's got to be something that you're gaining. You have to be gaining something from this to just let them live there.
Yeah, I've never really trusted guys named Gunther. Also,
Yeah, that's fair. And G names are never really trustworthy.
And he has no sausage. I don't understand this is a poor town. My God, no sausage.
Yeah, I mean, they have cattle, and obviously they've had other livestock, so they could have made sausage.
Not duck sausage, unless the ducks live in the well.
That is, I mean, maybe. It's all good speculation. But I would say we could probably... The only reason I could see to go to the other families would be to try to do what we did with the first family, and hope I can get into their house and maybe find a valuable. But the chances of that are probably pretty low, since the fire is probably their house has been burned down for a little bit. So plus, I feel like they would probably be pretty suspicious if we came back without taking them with us of an item. Like if we just came back, oh, by the way, this was in your house, they'd be like, how'd you get in the house? It's burnt down, But I feel like us doing the good deed for the first family and getting the 2 items back will probably spread at least a little bit of goodwill through the rest of the town. And then hopefully that goodwill will show with the rest of the citizens and possibly either help us point out who may not be really happy that we're here to help, or who may be like very obviously like, cool, you're helping, but I really wish you weren't,
You could see how they react.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
The only other thing I would wonder is if we go to the next house to the northwest, was it attacked before or after this one? Because if it was attacked before this one, there's a pretty good chance they're working their way from north to east. You know what I mean? They hit the border.
Going
So
around.
that would be the only thing that I would think. We would
east
need
to
go
west.
that
From because they started at the easternmost, and then you headed northwest to the second, which was earlier than the first one.
Right. So if we go farther northwest, would that be the only question I have? Would that be older or newer?
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you want to, we can check them out. I'm not against it. We might even run upon something that gives us more information about it.
You might discern where they're coming from.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Are they riding from a direction and then coming to the house, or are they coming, kind of right into the X here from some? I don't know. Yeah, so I think it's the idea. Check out one last house just to see how long we think it might have been after it was destroyed.
Just one more. Let's go investigate.
3. It's feng shui.
Okay. This house will be either the reeds or the large thistles, just for the record. Going back to the town, let's meet up with the other half of the group.
Who's the church?
So, you head over to the church. There is a lone figure up in the tower of the church. Seems to be watching to the north, not looking to the south or the east or the west at all, just looking due north.
Can we proceed to the tower? Can we catch their attention? Is it like how big is the tower? I guess
it's the tower to the church. It's the highest point in the town. The church is raised up above the land around it. The church seems to be older than most of the buildings in the town. It's made of stone as opposed to the wood of most of the rest of the buildings. Some are a combination of stone and wood. Most of them have wooden roofs or maybe some slate. But the church is fully stone with metal roof. And the tower, rather than a steeple like you'd see in most churches in America, the tower is, and you'll find this is common in the churches in Seregen. They're all watchtowers, like in every sense of the word. They have a clock in them, and then they're also a tower with a balcony for watching and things like that. Lookout towers. In fact, that's how the phrase watchtower came to be in Seregen, is because of the towers and churches. So you can access the tower from the church. Generally, the entrances to the towers are usually in the entryway of churches.
Yeah, I mean that's That's what we're gonna. That's what Ulrich's gonna start heading to do.
Okay. The church doors open. The inside, there's a heavy layer of dust throughout the area, except for the main lobby where there are tracks that lead to the ladder going up. It seems like the church is in disrepair and disuse inside. There is no active person or any active candles. Nothing has been cleaned in some time. You see cobwebs and whatnot. So basically the only area that's disturbed at all is this main area where you're in right now, leading to the ladder.
Okay. Since no one seems to be home, proceed to the ladder.
Okay. Is anybody else going up? Roger, are you going with him?
Yeah, I'll follow up the ladder.
Jordan kind of hangs out down below instead of going up the ladder. He doesn't really... He explains that 3 people on one ladder doesn't sound like a good time. I'm getting flashbacks to the mines.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I find ladders to be a thrill. Personally, though.
He kind of nods and kind of watches you guys, peers up at you guys as you're going up the ladder. So the ladder leads to a trap door, which is currently open, hanging open, so that you're able to enter into the watchtower. And you see a young man holding a periscope to his eye, and he's watching, kind of scanning the horizon in the forests to the north.
Hello.
Oh! Hello there. Who are you?
Well, my name is Ulrich Oakenworth. This is my friend Roger. And we're here to... Well, we're passing through and just trying to maybe lend your little town some help with the bandit situation.
Yes, I'm actually looking out for them right now. I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean. So, Sean, you doing this on your own volition? You just that kind of go-getter, or you got someone asking you to do this?
Well, I want to make sure that we're ready the next time the bandits come. I don't want us to get caught unaware if they come during the day. They've already attacked the town and some of the families. I'm just trying to do my part. Everybody doesn't seem to know what to do. This is the only thing I could think of that might do something.
Look at that. Got someone who actually cares about their little town. That's good on you, son. Now, you seen anything out on their horizon?
Not since last week.
Yeah.
Last week, the bandits attacked both the reeds and the large thistles on the same day, broad daylight.
Yeah. I heard a little bit about that. I think I got some friends who are looking into that matter. So I gotta ask, what's going on with the church down below? It seems awfully abandoned.
Yeah, the cleric that used to live here died probably about half a year ago. He is pretty old, and nobody came to replace him, so the church has been abandoned since. But nobody's taken up the faith here. Nobody's come to replace him, so here it sits.
Yeah, that's a real shame. So, Sean, you live here in town? You live in the farms?
My grandfather is the general store owner.
Oh yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I understand he had the bandits hit him about a month ago.
Yeah, that's when I started keeping watch up here.
Yeah, well, that's
And
good.
he kind of gestures as he says that, and you notice for the first time that there's a bedroll here and some camping supplies. He's literally been living up here.
All right.
So he might have even gotten these supplies from the general store.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought we
You see that there's a small pile of salt to one side of the bed. No, I'm just kidding.
Just in case.
Yeah.
gotta eat something. Oh, it's maybe it's a paranoid question, but no one in town has been acting suspicious, have they? Nobody you know since the bandits started attacking.
He thinks seriously about that for a bit. And he says, well, I've been up here quite a bit lately, so I wouldn't know about anyone acting strangely recently. But there were a few farmhands that disappeared prior to when the attack started about 2 months ago. I'm willing to bet money that some of them joined up with the bandits.
All right, now what farmhands disappeared? Which ones?
Well, some workers at some of the outer farms. I'm not, my grandfather runs the general store, so I really didn't know them name-wise. I just knew that, like, there was some of the families were complaining about not being able to keep good help these days, and I didn't really think anything of it at the time, but now that you're talking like this, maybe that has something to do with it.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. As awful as that is for the rest of us. Lord.
Well, I wanted to say, do you know if these folks had, I don't know, they're are the ones that have been hit by the bandits the same ones that lost their employees?
Oh yeah, I feel like all of the families have been complaining had been complaining about 2 months ago about some of their farmhands leaving. Those farms take a good 10-15 people to run. But,
Yeah.
no one in particular stands out as having been missing the most.
Well, keep up the good work, Sean, I guess. Hopefully we'll have some luck ourselves.
Well, I hope you figure out what's going on and you stop them. I don't know how we can deal with any more loss than we already have. May the 12 gods protect you.
And you.
And with that, I think we'll take our 9 o'clock break, 10 minutes. We'll pick back up with the other group afterward, unless you guys have anything else that you want to do at the church. We can finish that up before we head off to the other side.
I think I'm about done at the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see everyone in 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Very cool. See you soon.
We should be back up. I have unmuted. So yeah, we're good to go. So we have finished up at the church, from what I understand. So we are going to the next burned up farmstead, due directly north of town at this point. With Yarvik, Belzian, and Zippo.
Looking at the third house in our line of possible real estate.
Third time's the charm.
Investment opportunities await. So I guess the question would be, what do we find? What's our first impression when we get to the third farm?
What's it smell like?
It's fresher. You can, rather than like the settled smell of soot. You know how like a live fire that happened within a week, everything's still very powdery and like the ash is like still kind of present in the air and spreading around and kind of kicking up in the dust. That's kind of what is happening here. Everything smells of fire, as opposed to like a kind of a sodden smell from the other ones. This happened in the last week for sure.
Is there anything
Fresh off the
left?
grill.
One at a time.
I was just asking if there's anything left. Or same pattern. They burned the house and the barn.
This one, the first floor did not collapse the second floor, but everything is it's charred pretty thoroughly. You can see that the it charred especially around the windows. The fire started on the first floor as well. If you give me a survival check, I can give you more than that. Maybe. This was also on horseback. You see the footprints, or the hoof prints. And one second. Come in. Come on. Come on. Benji. In.
What
feel
were you
like,
gonna ask, Belzan?
I feel like New Pod would benefit from a volunteer firefighter department.
Right?
Or some people with shape water at this point, honestly.
Right? Like,
All right, I'm back.
Shape water is the best spell. They should just all know it.
this place is also burned, but also by people on horses.
This one you can't smell oil, and you don't see arrows.
Do you think, Zippo, is there magic in the air?
We can see.
Much like before, it's entirely possible that something magical caused the fire, just as it's entirely possible that things were caused by mundane means. You don't see any evidence of one or the other.
It's a definite maybe on that one, Chief.
Oh boy.
So just to explain why I'm giving you that answer is because you're not seeing anybody casting, so it's not
Yeah, I
like you
got
can
it.
tell what they're casting or something like that. So I can only give you a the probability, or I can give you like if it's possible or not that somebody did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
might have
gotcha.
just put this one to the torch, just like directly from torches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite possible this one wasn't even the bandits. Maybe the people just left the stove on. And they're just too embarrassed, so they're blaming the bandits for it.
That's a very good theory.
I think it's worth checking out the house. I mean, the first floor seems like it's kind of intact.
Oh yeah, can we go in at all, or is it just
You can go in.
Dunskies?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd like to
So,
go in.
have you ever been inside of a partially burned building?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, what can you tell me about that?
It smells
Sounds-
awful.
Uh-huh.
Very hot.
Well, it's no longer hot in there because obviously the fire's been gone at that point.
You have to watch the floor. That's why I asked about the cellars. Like, are these places built with on top of root cellars? Because you don't want to go through the floor.
Yeah. So, the reason I asked you to explain is because sometimes it's good to get like a personal experience involved. Yeah, ultimately, this building, while it's structurally still all in one piece, that does not mean it's structurally sound. You can hear as the wind blows through the place, because the windows are all broken from the heat. That you can hear the house kind of like creaking in the wind and like almost swaying a bit. You can see plenty of places where the flooring has burned through, and you can see down into the root cellar. You can't exactly see what's in there. You can just see through the floor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like the holes in the floor.
I'm going to give you, based on your survival check, that it would not be wise to go on the second floor of this place. And judging from the last few places that you went to, I'll give you that too.
Yeah.
Let us move as delicately as possible. Is there anything to search, or is it all gone? Like no furniture?
Of what furniture remains, it's mostly blackened or charred or collapsed. You can see what remains of an eating area, a kitchen, a living room. The only area that seems less burnt is the area around the fireplace, ironically enough. Probably because that area is mostly made out of stone, where the hearth is and things like that. But even things that are on the mantle, like there are some picture frames that the pictures are no longer present. They've been blackened. Whatever pictures they are, they must have been drawings of some sort.
All right, so it looks like they're not using kind of the regular pattern we were hoping to see as far as order of attacks at these places. So.
Hey, you were looking for oil and arrows, I guess.
Yeah, or any kind of accelerant, but it seems like they just walked up and torched this place.
Yeah.
This one looks like they torched it more recently than the other ones, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe they realized how easy it is to burn these places down, so they changed their tactics.
And instead of wasting resources, they're just kind of like, I mean, they catch fire pretty easy, so.
That's rough.
You get a sense from this place that it was done more quickly and less thoroughly than other places, the other two places.
So it feels like they were in a hurry to get this one done and over with.
Is his family still in town?
It's either the reeds or the large thistles.
Okay.
We
Maybe.
could perhaps inquire at the inn.
I think that's probably maybe our next step. I guess we just link back up with Ulrich and the gang and
Share info.
Based off of travel time coming to and from and hiking in and out of town, I would say it's probably around noon when you return to town and meet up with the other half of the group. I assume at the tavern.
That'd make the most sense.
Yeah.
I'm parched. I need some more of that delicious brown water.
To the anvil, folks.
Gunther is speaking with some of the families when you come in, and when you get his attention, he gets you some water. The tavern looks a little less full than it did in the morning around breakfast time. One would assume that several groups of the families have gone out to go about their day and take care of things. Whatnot.
Probably working in the fields or whatever
Mm-hmm.
people do around here.
Yeah, the lady did say that she had to get the rest of her family to come back and do that. So.
Did we ask why this is called the Amble?
No.
All right. At some points, Ulrich would like to ask that of Gunther.
So Gunther explains that the tavern, in its prime, used to be a prominent blacksmith, and then the blacksmith expanded into a tavern in Smith, and he called the tavern the Anvil in honor of his trade. But that was a long time ago, and the tavern kept the name, but there's no longer an active blacksmith at this location. Like Gunther knows a thing or two and can take care of the horses in town, but the trade to the quality that the Anvil used to be at is no longer present.
Interesting. So this building, the tavern, also used to be the blacksmith?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's still equipped to be a smithy, it's just he's not as good at it as his father was.
Oh, his father. Does that mean New Pod used to be a little more economically relevant? Like, where would they get their metal from for smithing? Grading,
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
Generally speaking, he was a man who he explains that his father worked with metals that people brought him, or projects that they made. Some of the metals they'd bring up from Jewel. New Pod is along a major trade route, so when he could, he'd purchase. But there aren't any. If you're getting at if there's any mines in the area, there aren't. New Pod's pretty much always been a farm town. But he does say that the church's roof that's made out of metal was actually made by Gunther's father.
Well, that's a hefty sum of metal. What was that, copper? Brass?
Copper.
Where'd you get all that copper from?
That's before my time, he says.
Yeah. That's fair.
I couldn't tell you. I assume the
So-
church paid for it or got the
Yeah,
supplies and he worked on it. I know it took him quite a long time to do.
Yeah, tracks. Well, it's mighty fine work you did.
Yeah, you got a pretty good look at the copper roof. It's still pretty good shape. There's only a few patchings that have been needed on it. And,
So,
and
as-
now that I mentioned that, you'll see that that's the only roof in town that's a different color, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
As we're all sitting here, Zippo will try to get everybody like in close. And he'll be like, I think somebody in the town's working with the bandits. These attacks that we looked at seem too well coordinated.
We actually have some information about that.
It's the bartender, isn't it? That's why you're asking him so many questions.
No, we asked the boy who's been keeping watch, and he said just prior to when the attack started, a bunch of farmhands went missing.
How did a farm lose its hands? I didn't know farms could have hands.
Oh yeah,
People.
one for each arm usually.
Yeah. This is all new information for me.
Gotta let milk the cows.
Can't do that without hands, Zippo.
It's
Yeah.
all new to me.
Yeah, some of the workers on the farms went missing right before the attacks. It's possible that they're the source of the inside information you think that they might need.
That's fair. It also didn't I couldn't really tell because I didn't see them do it, but I'm like 98% sure 58% sure they didn't use magic. They just kind of lit the houses on fire with torches and oil, or flaming arrows in some cases. But it seems the only thing they were interested in them was like horses. They didn't take anything else. They didn't take crops. They didn't take cattle. They didn't take anything else. No properties or valuables. They didn't even loot the houses because I went to one of the houses and found like 2 heirlooms for one family.
Wasteful.
Right? Kind
So,
of banned it. At least banned it right.
What's that? Shade?
I'm just trying to think here about. But what benefit do they really have in driving everyone out like this, though? All these farmhands. They'd have to find something. There'd have to be cause, because they're not taking the valuables from the house, really, or doing a good job searching. And if they're just burning shit down, there needs to be a reason.
Could be ideological.
I mean, yeah, their name certainly sounds ideological.
Do they have a name now? When did they get a name?
The bandits are calling themselves the Shades of Retribution.
That's weird because I'm pretty sure the last one I heard they attacked in daytime. There's no shade in daytime, really.
Well, that's
Nighttime
how
would be
you
better.
get shade.
There's more shade in daytime than there is at night.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like setting all that stuff on fire and are preparing for like a war or something.
Maybe
I
it's
personally
bandit
like fire.
practice.
I would assume that if they're mostly stealing horses, that maybe they're preparing to attack the capital. We've heard tales of bandits elsewhere across the countryside.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
And
the same group or an affiliated group.
And if our friend Shadow has any connection, I mean, right there in the name, really. But if he has any connection, Rita, our old hag friend, did say he was enemy of the king. So
Well, that's not good.
I put on good authority that he's He's an enemy of the crown.
Yep. So, maybe I don't know. Maybe we should just try and search him out tomorrow.
Assuming they don't attack tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean we could be so lucky.
You said there was a boy watching over the town from a watchtower?
Yep.
How does he signal if the bandits are coming? Does he like
You know what?
ride down the tower and run through the town screaming the bandits are coming? The bandits are coming?
There's
No,
a bell on the top of the tower.
Presumably he rings the bell.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
That's
they
fair.
ring the bell to signify church services?
Oh no, the
Ah,
church
What are
is
the
dead.
clerics doing? Oh, that's not helpful.
The church has, fallen into disuse, it seems.
It's a lot of waste of copper on that roof then.
The last cleric died, and they never got anyone to replace him.
Perhaps they should put out help wanted ads.
I mean,
I digress.
to be fair, if you were a cleric, would you want to come to a town that's constantly getting attacked by bandits with no protection
Well,
from said bandits?
That is only a very recent thing, and he died good
Oh,
11
okay,
months.
gotcha. I didn't know if he
ago.
died like sooner rather than later.
Yeah, 5 months ahead or 6 months,
Gotcha.
something like that.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the reason they're trying to clear this town out is to get that copper from the roof. That can be reforged into a lot of things that can be useful for a budding bandit group.
You could make one giant shield out of it.
Does
There you
the do the plans that we have that we asked Jordan to make a copy of, do they specify any copper for that
You want
device?
to pull out the plans?
Not in the tavern.
Okay.
It's good.
I like your pause. I mean, you can check them later if you'd like.
I'll make a note to check them later.
From what you recall of the plans, there wasn't really much in the way of wording. It was mostly diagram. As
Only the
in, like,
parts look like metal.
you know, it's you know how like Lego instructions have like pictures but no words. It's like that, except no additional pictures. It's all laid out like in
Like a finished Lego sculpture.
kind of, but more like a blueprint of something.
Maybe they want to use the reforged copper into a giant rod and then crash it into the castle and shock it with lightning and increase the lightning's effect to blow the castle open.
That could be their plan.
They might have overheard that, so hopefully it's not their plan.
Yeah, if that wasn't their plan, they just got a really good idea from me.
Don't go giving the terrorists ideas.
It's too late.
I'll post what it says in Ulrich's bio for when you've looked at it.
Gotcha.
The contraption looks like a round ball which has gears and components charted and diagrammed with arrows pointing to where they might fit. Ulrich is not sure even with this parchment that he could explain what the contraption is or does. A dotted line leads from it to a circle that says times 12 on it, which is the only numbering on it.
Well, shall we rest for the night here, or do we want to go stay at one of the
Isn't it only noon?
no, Is it only noon?
Lunchtime.
Well, what do you want to do for the rest of the day, folks?
I mean, I think we can take a couple hours trip up north. Maybe try to lure him out.
Go take a boo. Maybe set
Just-
a trap. I don't know if we'd be able to take 20+ people on horseback, though.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult. Well, there's 6 of us, so if each of you takes 4, I can sit back and watch, and we can call it good. Or each of you can take the 4, and I can hit them all with like AOE spells randomly, if we're feeling lucky.
I think a loud noise scaring the horses.
Do I got a spell for you?
Yeah, let's go investigate the forest then.
Okay.
Who's the north?
Are you going on foot?
Is
Or
there
with
like a
your
path, or like,
carriage?
I feel like the carriage would definitely draw potential bandit attention if they're actually banditing.
Yeah.
Would probably get us there faster.
Not
Oh, it's
necessarily,
green light.
just with less effort.
It would draw a lot more attention, though, which would be nice. And
It also makes our horses a little more vulnerable.
yeah, we could lose our whole mode of transportation if we somehow lose the horses.
The last
But I
thing we
feel-
want is to hear Zippo complaining about walking between cities again.
See, that's where you're wrong, because I was going to leave Brunhild here, which we can always come back for her.
If she listens to you.
That's fair. That's a fair point. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am kind of excited to fight 20 guys on horseback, because I really want to spellcast horses. And out of character, I really am excited. I really want to use some of these new spells. They're sitting here staring me in the face.
Yay!
I think we're going to go on foot.
Okay.
Nobody argued with me about it, so.
Yep, that's fine by me.
While we wander, I also wonder what they're seeking retribution against. Probably not a small town. Maybe a small town. Maybe Gunther.
Retribution for the terrible quality of the water, maybe.
Yes. The brown water rages.
So just as a heads up, the edge of the edge of the forest is about 10 miles from the crossing the road, the T intersection of the roads. Just to kind of give you an idea of the overall layout of the land, it's pretty much a plain area leading up into a forest that kind of rises on a hill or a couple of hills. So the forest looks taller than the plains around it. The other half of the group has now joined, and you travel through the plains and through the farmlands. You see the dottings of the shelves of the farmsteads to your right as you're heading north. So, of the 4, there's one here, and then one due north, and then the other one that was also hit at the same time, which the other half of the group now knows. So the large thistles and the reeds were both hit simultaneously by the bandits that had split into 2 groups. and hit both at the same time. The second farmstead was much closer to the, and you can see this now. It's much closer to town than the other one was. So it's almost as if the husks of the houses are in like a spiral inward toward the town. The other three homes that are to the left in the west of the town are varying distances apart, one closer, two farther away. Kind of parallel to the King's Road that leads to Jane. As you continue forward, the plains go into plains proper with taller grass in some sections, but it's mainly shorter grass with wild flowers, and you can see wildlife in the distance, such as deer and cattle, wild cattle, and some striped horses as well. And as you get closer to the forest, it's not the forest that you're used to seeing, Ulrich. The large, thick trees. This is either younger trees or different flavor of tree than your great woods and ironwoods that are up north. These are more like normal conifers instead of like imagine your forest up in Daranai as like a redwood forest, whereas this is more like a Appalachian forest, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So are you guys just gonna enter the forest? Are you gonna be like traveling along the forest's edge, saying, "I wonder where the bandits are"? Like, what's the plan?
Do we want to make a loud noise and see if they'll just come to us?
Did you know?
I was hoping maybe our esteemed tracker could help locate where the bandits are coming from the forest. Maybe we could walk along the edge a little bit first.
Oh, Mr. Tracker.
We are Vic.
King Julian the Fourth?
He's already there. Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking he's talking, but not. Maybe he's preoccupied at the moment.
Or maybe muted mic or something.
Maybe he won the lottery like mid us sitting here and just dipped out because he's too excited. That's my new thing, by the way. Like, I was playing Overwatch earlier today, and somebody asked me to switch off Zenyatta, and I was like, "Look, you got a better chance of winning the lottery without buying a ticket than me switching."
Bill?
Yep.
In fairness, the expected value of a lottery ticket is usually negative $2.
Never actually played the lottery. See, my ideal is I'm gonna just save up all my luck from not playing the lottery, all the way for like a year or two or three or four, and then when I buy a lottery ticket, all that luck will accumulate onto that one lottery ticket, and I'll win.
That's
All
how
right.
luck works, right?
I texted him to see what's going on, but in the meantime, anybody else have any thoughts?
Yeah, like what are we looking for? Like parts of the forest where it looks like people have entered?
That was my
Awesome.
thought.
Signs.
Tracks, trails, things like that.
Possible new animals to tame.
Yeah, the fella on the farm we talked to said there was good hunting out if you're into that sort of thing.
Thankfully, we're not the ones who get hunted.
Yeah, that would be kind of a plot twist, right? Wouldn't it? We come out to look for bandits, and then plot twist, they knew. They're ready.
That's not much of a plot twist.
Just sounds like a plan.
See, I'm getting the plot twist.
Surprise,
the plot twist is
motherfucker.
all the bandits are actually getting hunted by displacer beasts that are like bat-winged, so they just destroy them. And we all get to watch it happen because the displacer beasts are actually friendly to us. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be unexpected for sure.
Wow.
I would consider that a twist.
I couldn't place ever hearing a story like that before.
I kind of see what you did there.
All right, Bill's taking a quick call from. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's taking a call real quick, so he's not. He's got the game muted at the moment.
These things happen.
So
what you're saying is we can say whatever we want about him now, and he won't hear us.
sure, but I'll tell him. So
What a kind and thoughtful fellow. Don't let him know that I want that.
what was that? What was the? Sorry, I missed the second part.
I said, don't let him know that.
To let him know what? Anyway, so I guess you looking into the woods, you see that the woods are fairly thick. There are a few game trails here and there that go into the woods. Obviously, if there's deer and things like that, there's got to be trails throughout the woods. But offhand, as you're walking along, it's not like you see anything glaringly obvious, like bandit camp here, with like flashing neon lights and like an arrow and like some Robin Hood men like doing a jig and saying we rob from the rich and give. No, there's nothing like that. So, if you're looking for that, I'm sorry. You can see the town in the distance from here, or at least some of the town. You know, some of it curves. Like, you know, this area is a little bit more raised up than the rest, however, slightly. But you could barely see the tree line from where you were on top of the church. So it's like kind of like you can just kind of see the hints of the town from here. 10 miles and all.
Should we venture into the woods?
Well, you guys said the guy said the king used comes and hunts up here, right? Like when he's bored of his actual forest?
More to the north, I think, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. It's just not adding up that the bandits are able to hide in this forest so well, but the king can come through here with his brigade and not find a single trace of them. It's not adding up.
I don't think the king comes through here very often.
Yeah, he's not really traveling all that much that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I was going to say, because it doesn't add up that I'm assuming it being the king, he would have a decent brigade with him if he did travel. So,
if anything, the fact that the king sometimes comes through these woods might be an argument for a rebel group wanting to establish a base here.
if that's the case, then we have to probably watch out for traps, because there's no way a rebel group of any size would be able to take on a full-on King's Protection Guard.
Oh, I mean, and if
that's the best of the best.
If you look on the overworld map too, you'll see, Jane is almost due west of here, a little bit more northwest, and the forest kind of stretches up in kind of cudgel pattern. You're kind of here down at the bottom of it, right? So, if the king does hunt in these woods, and as they said, it would probably be more around the northern area here, like more central part of the woods. But Ulrich, you know this for a fact. The king usually hunts in the mountains or in the basin between the mountains, Gideon and James Reach, in this area, which is a more of like a protected reserve, or in the mountains themselves. Coincidentally, James Reach is also where Yarvik spent much of his life living off the land, hunting and trapping and trading with Ari sometimes when he kind of wandered down that way into the woods down below Ari.
Okay, so if we do decide to go in here, well, I guess the plan that the thought process that I have is, one, we got to watch out for traps. Two, what's our plan if we do get ambushed? Like, is it everybody just try to get out as fast as can, or just kill as many as you can and hope you go down at least taking half of them with you?
Don't really have any designs to be murdered by bandits.
I don't either, but worst case scenario, if we're completely surrounded, my biggest question is, as Zippo, is everybody okay if I AoE spells that may hit you if we're surrounded?
No.
I mean, do try not to, but I feel like you got things that are targeted.
I do, but I was just thinking more of a take out as many as I can possibly at once kind of thing.
But
If you kill me, I will haunt your grave.
Don't worry. If it'll be the last resort if I have to use AoE spells, and if they do just happen to kill one of you, I will use all of your money for personal gain to make you feel better.
That doesn't make me
It's
feel
okay,
better.
Sippo. If I get hungry, we'll skin you and eat you too.
That's a fair assumption.
Please give any of my valuables to the church, thank you. How many do you think we could take at once? If there's like a dozen plus, do you think we should make a tactical backwards movement?
I'd say the best
Deal.
number for us would be probably at maximum 14. That puts us at a little bit more than 2 apiece.
Well, didn't the villagers say that sometimes they've attacked with upwards of 40 people?
Mm-hmm.
that will be a problem. That's where we're not fighting, but maybe trying to take one of their horses if we need to run away.
We could all fit on one horse.
Well, 4 each of us.
Some of us are smaller than others.
Okay. Killing horses is a fair tactic.
For some reason, Jordan looks bothered by that statement, like quite a bit, like visibly bothered. He doesn't say anything, but he doesn't like it.
I mean,
War.
The next thing is, does anybody really know their way around here, or should we leave like a trail so we know how to get out, like a quick way if we have to, so we don't just end up deeper in the forest or in a spot that's worse than where we normally were?
Good
I
point.
think between Yarvik and I, we can probably get out of the woods one way or another.
That's fair.
With all of our provisions, enough room to make it back to civilization. But
do we have like a compass or anything? Does such a thing exist in this setting?
you can look at which way the sun is.
It's up.
We could always just burn the whole forest down.
Compasses are a thing. I mean, they burned the villagers' towns homes down. We burned their home down. That seems fair," says Jordan.
Yeah, like,
I'm back, gentlemen.
I'm on board with this plan.
I mean, we don't even have to go into the forest to burn it down.
That's
I don't
great.
think we need to. Who knows who else is in there? You might have, Yarvik's cousin out there or something that he doesn't know about.
Sorry to say, but fight the whole bandage thing or burn their house down. I'm a big fan of the second one. Like, innocent civilians should run. We can, like, scream that out, but not loud enough for the bandits to hear. Just be like, run, and then burn.
That's
Unless you're a
that's
bandit,
some
please
really
don't.
problematic logic.
I'm not familiar with the spell selective hearing, where only our friendlies can hear what we're saying. But
We'll have Zippo teach you that one
oh,
later.
okay. Just to fill you in, Bill. So we've headed to the forest, and we're currently kind of like walking along the tree line, trying to identify a good place to enter the forest or figure out what to do, and planning for inevitabilities such as what happens or how many people is too many people, and what happens when we encounter too many people or not enough people, or plans of attack for going into the forest at all or burning it down. That's Zippo's current plan for his living up to his name for sure.
All right, that's cool. Sorry about that. So maybe we take some game trails, or we break trail ourselves. I think maybe if we're trying to get in sneaky and not make a lot of noise, following some little used game trails would probably be our best way to get in here.
Sounds good. Lead the way, Yarvik.
So I guess Yarvik, you're looking for the best trail to follow.
Yeah, I'm looking for any kind of game trails going into the forest. We got to keep an eye out for traps. We don't know how savvy these guys are.
Yeah, that was mentioned too. There was a fear of that. I guess make a survival check, because you're probably looking for the trail that would probably suit the needs of the bandits and you, correct?
I think we're trying to get in. My idea is to get in. I don't want to go where the bandits are going. I want to find the bandits without us having. Yeah, I want to find the bandits without having them find us. So.
Okay. All right. So you gave me a 21 for your survival check. So I guess what's immediately present in your kind of looking at the forest is that the undergrowth is fairly thick. In fact, looking into the forest, it's hard to see more than the first couple of trees ahead. Even when you find some small game paths, it's pretty thick going and pretty noisy. There are larger game paths every once in a while that kind of go in some and then end. But it seems like the undergrowth is fairly thick, and you'll recognize several different types of plants you'd rather not be treading through to kind of rough it through the forest.
Yeah, if we're ambushed, I can get away. I'm small enough to get away through smaller gaps in the bush, but I don't think our large members of our party would fare too well if we came into a bad way.
We could.
Go ahead.
I would just say Zippo can light a fire in front of us. We can run.
It's true.
I can burn a lot if we need it.
They can't. If we can't move quickly on foot, they definitely can't move quickly on horseback.
So that maybe maybe we can at least see where they're riding into and out of the forest from if we search around a little bit more. I don't know whether we want to fan out or go as a group.
All right, so I guess if you're looking for that, my most important question for you is, are you going to be heading from here in an eastern direction or a western direction from where you hit the forest? Are you going more northwest or southeast? Left or right?
And we didn't see any trails. We didn't see any horse trails or anything like that. We didn't see any discernible pattern coming up to the forest.
So when you were approaching the forest, you weren't actually looking for that. You could double back or like walk along the forest till you find some horse tracks or some trails if you'd like. But you guys kind of just made a beeline for the forest itself. From, you know what I mean?
It's a 50-50 crapshoot. Let's head south.
Okay.
Southeast.
We
Right.
have a map, right? Like we're all kind of.
You're
understand
spatially
the
aware. Yeah, you have the map that I have of the overworld with the labeled cities and everything like that. It is like that because it's a map of the continent that you have on hand. So one of you, probably Ulrich, since he's rich, has a map of the kingdom. But you'll notice that it's very vague in terms of like it gives names of major cities, but none of this, like, obviously New Pod's not on the map, right? Some of the things are embellished, like the river's probably not 3-4 miles wide, you know what I mean? But it's detailed enough to like get you an idea of where things are. So it might not be completely accurate, but it's accurate enough.
Good. So we would know that if we went right or southways, we'd eventually come around to like the river and the forest.
After like a day, yes. Yeah,
It's a long way.
Yeah. Because remember, each square and a half is about a day when you're in carriage. So, because it's about diagonally, it's about 24 miles there. All right. So I'm assuming you're going to continue survival check, or are you going to be doing a perception check to like look for signs?
I think perception check is probably more the way we would want to go. Trying to look for any kind of discernible path of how these guys are getting in here, or how to find a new camp.
Before I agree to that, let me just look at survival real quick. So, the GM might ask you to make a wisdom survival check to follow tracks, hunt wild game, guide your group through frozen wastelands, identify signs that owlbears live nearby, predict the weather, or avoid quicksand and other natural hazards. So that sounds more like what you're trying to do, right? Perception lets you spot, hear, or otherwise detect the presence of something. It measures your general awareness of your surroundings and the keenness of your senses. For example, you might try to hear a conversation through a closed door, eavesdrop under an open window, or hear monsters moving stealthily in the forest. Or you might try to spot things that are obscured or easy to miss, whether it be orcs laying in ambush on the road, thugs hiding in the shadows of an alley, or candlelight under a closed, secured secret door. So it's whether you're looking for something or if you're looking for traps, or I mean, not traps, tracks.
So I guess the idea is we're looking for tracks, right? So that's
Okay.
more. That would be more of the perception, correct?
That would be more of the survival, actually.
Okay, that's more of the survival.
And I will say survival is actually a better skill for you than perception anyway. So
Yeah, I have the bonus 4 and
yeah,
yeah,
it's one of your proficiencies. So I mentioned earlier that there are some striped horses off in the distance. They leave off a smaller hoof print than a normal horse would. They're more like a pony size in terms of hooves. Deer prints are distinct. They've got that like that V pattern. You see some of that. These are large deer with large mantles. Even the female deer that are with the bucks are fairly large as well. You can see why the king might choose to hunt in these forests. There's some significant game in this area. But they're all pretty timid and run from you before you're even close. You can just spot them in the distance. I'm mainly describing them because of the tracks, right? So, eventually, as you're heading south, you spot the tracks of a lone horse leading into one of the wider game trails that you've seen.
Okay. So it looks like it is kind of a heavy track with a rider,
Yes.
like we had seen at the previous burned places.
Actually, you see that it's footprints of a horse, and then as you look closer, you see that there's also footprints of a person as well, walking alongside it.
It's heading into the forest, correct?
Yes.
And that trail looks wide enough to take the party, or at least one horse and rider, or multiple horses and riders. I mean, they're going to go single file, so it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Potentially multiple, but at least the party.
Sure. Tally-ho.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Roll20 is going to hiccup on me for a second as I load up this map. Happens every time. So.
And my Roll20 said it was disconnected, so I have to reload.
Yeah, so just give it a second.
We need a loading song.
Do 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 do.
Do you like one of those cut cards from like SpongeBob? 20 years later.
All right, give me 1 second. I heard a whoa.
Oh, I thought the map changed, but it turns out I was just extremely zoomed in on one spot.
How are you entering the forest?
Carefully.
Like,
On foot.
yes, order. I'm assuming Yarvik's in front.
Yeah, we'll take the lead on this one.
And I guess I'll go last since I think I have the next best perception.
Are we doing the normal marching order with instead of okay, I see you guys moving stuff around. Cool. So is Yarvik going to be in the front instead of Ulrich, or?
Hold on, I still see the world map. Hold on.
Yeah. So the world map has a marching order in the bottom left-hand corner. All right, I'm keeping an eye on that. It's gonna load up again, I think. because I had to go to the world map. My bad.
It's all good, man. This is cool.
So I'll describe the forest a bit as it's loading up. I don't know why this particular map has these sort of issues, but here we are. So the forest, as I mentioned before, is thick, but the pathway opens up into a clearer area. It looks like at one point maybe it might have been used as a more common game trail for the farmers and the village community. Maybe even at one point used fairly often. The path is still generally cleared, but in much of disuse. There's leaves on the ground, and you can see into the forest a bit. I'm gonna move you guys into it now. Can you see?
Very dark. Because it's still loading.
Still loading on this side.
Okay, alright. Might take a second. You'll see why when you load it.
Because there's 40 plus bandits just right there. Waiting for us.
It's about 40 bandits, 50 different horses, 13 ballistas, 7 cannons, 8
a partridge
possible
in a
water
pear
snakes.
tree.
A couple doppelgangers.
Is
Map go boom.
it loading yet?
Yeah, mine has.
I'm gonna refresh. Oh, this page is slowing down your browser. Okay. Well, I'm gonna log out and log in real quick.
Mine did that twice. I just had to hit wait twice, and it loaded it.
Yeah, you just gotta hit wait. How about everybody else? How's everybody else doing?
Still spinning.
Still waiting.
I can see.
Yeah, loading.
Okay, I got it.
So this is the first time my computer's ever loaded faster than somebody else's, because my internet is pretty bummy. Because I live in the backwoods of nowhere.
You live in
Where-
Newpod.
Hey, you're not part. I mean, if Newpod had like a McDonald's in it, then yeah, I'd be in Newpod.
Alright, so as you can see, the forest is still pretty thick on the edges. You can't see past the first tree line. There are thicker trees that dot along the path in the cleared area. And the path kind of curves in and out of the forest.
I guess we just follow the path, keeping a wary eye out, and follow the tracks and see what the forest brings us.
Yes.
Has everybody loaded the map at this point?
Not yet.
No.
Nope.
I can use my imagination.
I'm imagining a lush forest.
Yeah, it's really thick. We can barely see. We are all
Yes.
very tentatively following Yarvik and hoping for the best.
I'm imagining a forest that's thick with multiple seas.
With multiple snakes?
Seas.
With multiple C's.
Roger's like, you know, damn, that tree is thick.
I see. Don't know why I didn't pick up on that.
And smell the green.
I like red better, you know.
Yarvik does seem
Yeah,
to be a little bit happier to kind of be in his element.
A lot of timber here.
Apologies for the slow loading. Did you hit wait twice by now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still hasn't popped up.
Oh, yeah. Many times, yeah.
Wow. Roll 20. Come on, man.
Oh.
Plot twist: the map was actually a virus where all our computers are going to blow up.
That was a pretty good one. 12
I'm
seconds.
gonna
to get
just
all our personal
reload roll
info.
20 and see if it
My browser
goes any
crashed.
faster.
Windows is looking for a solution.
Exited, came back, and have waited a few times, but that's just the way it goes. I can imagine.
Yeah. It'll eventually load at some point, probably. It's a shame because I worked really hard on making it look like a forest, which is with all the shadows and stuff, probably why it's causing such a headache. I don't know why it would, but I had probably as many lines drawn in the mines as this, so.
Number of lines drawn probably isn't the issue. I would assume the size of the map, like just a number of squares in general, has more to do with it.
I think it's the size. It also calculates everything that characters can see, right? Like I'm looking at my screen is crazy. It shows shadows like every tree trunk has a shadow going back where I can't see behind it.
Yeah.
Like my computer spun up. I even heard my GPU fans run up a couple of times while this loaded in. So.
If this is like in any way GPU dependent, this 8-year-old integrated graphics is not going to get there ever.
Yeah, I did get there with my 10-year-old computer, and I see everything is shadow based, and that's exactly what's going on. That's impressive.
Actually, yeah,
That makes
really.
more
It is
sense.
really impressive.
Mine never loaded in, but I just took a peek at the Twitch stream, and it looks really cool. Spoiler alert.
I should check this out on Twitch while we're waiting.
Also, because of spoiler alert, I can't watch the stream.
Never mind then.
Well, it's not spoiling anything. I actually have it on Yarvik's view right now, so.
Right now, it's groovy and cool.
Yeah, it's calculating all those shadows in real time. That's really interesting.
Yep.
All right, so the remaining two people are Belzian and Roger for being able to see. Currently, they're blind but that'll be fine. It should load. Just give it some time. Shade, what was the best thing that you found to get it to load? Just waiting?
Just went a number of times, and then it just loaded.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'll play blind for now.
Sounds good. All right, so this is the woods that you've entered here. And what I'll try and do for the group is I'll just try and follow. I'll keep it super zoomed in. So and I'll keep it on Ulrich's view, so you're just seeing what Ulrich sees. So the canopy closes up. There is light, but it's obviously it's like darker than daylight in here. It's lower light, but not low light, if that makes sense. It's shady.
How long did it take us to get here? This was around lunchtime when we left the anvil.
I'd say a good 2-3 hours to maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Like, let's say, because you guys walked 10 miles to this forest, and then you walked along the forest for a ways. So I'd say like 3-4 miles. So it's like 4 o'clock now. And I gave you a generous travel time for that 10 miles. You know, usually people walk about 2 miles an hour, right? So that would be 5 hours to get out there. So that was a little generous.
3 miles an hour is.
Yeah, normal speed's 3 miles an hour. Yeah.
Stay we go while we have a little bit more light left, and then find a good spot to hold up on the side of the road and kind of keep watch through the night and observe.
Sounds reasonable.
Do I see anything else, any other signs or marks of anybody else traveling through here?
Just the lone footprints with the horse. They take the left path when it splits at the branch here.
Okay, I was going to ask that. So,
So, just to describe what's going on, since you guys can't see it, we're continuing along a winding path here that goes throughout the woods. I'll just pretend you guys are staying along until you load up, and then I'll pop you over if needed.
Thank you.
So and feel free to watch this in Twitch, both Amatus and Bane.
Yeah,
To load Twitch at the same time.
Yeah. So
watch it on your phone.
I will ping you here. So here, Yarvik, you see what looks like a very old, disused campfire.
all right, let's check it out. Search for clues. There needs to be like a search for clues. I don't know whether that's investigation. Is that investigation?
Yeah, you can do an investigation. Now, if you click on each of the different types of skills, you can see what each does on the right-hand side. So if you just click on the word. When you look around for clues and make deductions based on those clues, you make an intelligence investigation check. You might deduce the location of a hidden object, discern from the appearance of a wound what kind of weapon dealt it, or determine the weakest point in a tunnel that could cause it to collapse. Pouring through ancient scrolls in search of hidden fragment of knowledge might also call for an intelligence investigation check. Okay, so what are you looking for with this investigation check?
Is it used frequently? If so, who's using it? Are they usually traveling? Was there like place where the horses are tying off or grazing. Food that they're eating, any supplies, junk, everybody, you can't. I don't think these guys tread lightly. So, there's any junk or other kind of things that they're leaving around the campsite.
Sure.
Just kind of give us kind of a little bit of clues of who they are, maybe.
So, and I've depicted this on the map a bit too. If you look in the center of the fire pit, there's a circle of rocks, but grass and moss has actually grown within the rock pile. You do see a few charred sticks that remain from what once might have been a fire pit, but it has long been in disuse. Probably over 6 months. It's been it's been at least a couple seasons.
I didn't see any sources of water or anything around here. I know with the river, according to the overland map, the river, I guess, isn't too far from here. Day's ride. No other scraps or anything like that. Food, bones, or anything.
Not that you can see, no.
Okay, guess we just press on.
Onward.
So as you continue on, Yarvik, you see that the path opens back up into the plains below.
The tracks continue, correct?
Yes.
Keep following the tracks. What anything else that we see on the plains? Do we see any kind of encampment? Signs of larger, more animals traveling, more people traveling?
So as you come out, you see that you are fairly close to the area of the forest that you entered. It's the same area of land. You see that there are a set of lone footprints and horse footprints that lead straight off into the plains toward town. And fairly quickly turn into just hoof prints.
So they rode into the woods in one part of the path, rode out of the woods, rode and walked out of the woods on this part of the path. And the tracks didn't diverge at all. It just made a loop.
Made a loop.
Maybe they used some kind of a way to disguise their tracks and took actually the right path whenever we split up like the divergent area. They took the right path, but they made it seem like they took the left path and went all the way around and then walked back in and then took the right path. Like they walked all around the first time, then walked back in and took the right path, but it hid their tracks really well.
Kind of double back to.
Yeah, that way, if somebody is following them, it's not like a "here I am" kind of thing.
At least it's worth investigating.
Maybe they're literally just running in circles.
I'm sorry about the load time on this map. It's like if I create a video game, it would load faster.
Yeah, if you're loaded in, also be careful not to hit any of the trees, because it will force your character to lag a little bit, because it accounts you as going into the shadows.
Right. And it won't let you actually enter them, so...
Roll20 always gets to a certain point.
Yeah, there would be a time where I might have to, like, untrap you.
It looks really cool, though.
Yeah, I like how
I dig what I can see the map over here on Twitch.
it moves when you move your character and stuff like that.
Yeah, my
So,
Roll20 just locks up. I can't even send a roll to it or anything. But please, don't wait for me.
All right, so we see we're at the right path. Which what do we see? It looks like it kind of dead ends here.
see if that helps you load at all.
There's like a little branch.
Yeah, so that branch kind of dead ends. You can see a little trickle of water of a stream that it kind of looks like animals have probably watered at, basically right here.
This seems to be a little bit of a wild goose chase. Should we just press her on it? Maybe a bit of a walk. Should we press on around to the east side of the forest to the river? I feel like if they're going to be camped and they need a steady supply of water, and they're all on horseback, plains near the river, backed up by the forest is probably that would be where I would go.
That'd probably be the best thing, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a 445. It's 4,550 pixels. So that's probably not helpful. Fog of War's off. Play on the... Oh. Gotcha.
So since we know we're going to be skirting the edge of the forest to try to go around to the river, do you want to move us back to the overland map? That might help the guys a little bit.
So
I can see the Twitch stream just fine. I just can't move my own guy.
So the plan is to exit the forest on which side?
I guess we'll continue. Well, because that goes back to town. The idea is we want to kind of go back along the southeastern side of the bottom of the tree line and head to the river. See if that's, since both of these tracks appear to be coming and going from the town.
Okay.
This may be a bit of a wild goose chase.
Does anybody else have any input or anything based off that?
It sounds fine to me. I mean, just because the tracks are heading back towards town from what we can see doesn't mean that they actually go to town, so following those might be worthwhile, but following the forces southeast is fine too.
I don't like. I feel like the whole going back towards town thing is like a mind game. But then again, there's always that like small chance that maybe we just got here in time and we're about to witness another attack, kind of thing, you know.
But we're only seeing one rider.
Yeah, that's also like I don't think they would be skilled enough at it, but maybe they have the horses just follow the same tracks as each other. Like they have to be like amazing animal trainers, but in the Navy? Or maybe he was like a scout?
While Yarvik was tracking, was anybody else doing anything? Just curious.
Roger would be keeping an eye out for anybody nearby.
Okay.
So I guess I can roll a perception check for that.
I know we got distracted by the map issue, so I wanted to make sure that any actions that people did were accounted for prior to leaving off. Because we're getting close to the end of the night, so if we're leaving this map, we'll probably call it from there. So I want to make sure we're all good before we do that.
Oh, thank you.
I have no idea if my rolls are actually making it into roll 20.
They
Because
are
my roll
not.
20 is locked up.
So if roll 20
Alright.
is locked up, just let me know what the rolls are. I'm fine with that. Because you've got the rolls appearing in the D&D Beyond, right?
Yeah, I'd be rolling perception.
Yeah.
So +8 for Roger.
No, yeah, go. And you rolled?
It's not appearing for me either.
In D&D Beyond?
Oh. Yeah, I can figure out how to roll it in here.
It should pop up for you when you roll in D&D Beyond.
It does not. I can just click the die here. Roll. Okay, there we go. So the die roll is 10, so +8 is 18.
Okay. So you don't see anyone around the area. But you do notice that I'm gonna move Jordan. I'll move your character for you, just to demonstrate this. So, when passing through this area of the forest, you notice that there is a tree that has fallen here along the side of the path.
Notable.
Does anything look special about the tree that's fallen? Aside from the fact that it fell over.
I pointed out because it just you notice it, and you generally, like, in a forest, noticing a tree as opposed to all the rest of the trees, it just kind of, it bugs you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Why this particular tree thinks it's so special? I guess we can go investigate. Go up close and take a closer look.
All right, give me an investigation.
I lands on a 5. +4 is a 9.
I mean, it just looks like a tree that fell over at some point.
I kick the tree.
The tree shakes slightly.
Roger, that's not how you kick a tree. Can Belzian kick the tree too?
Sure.
Show me how it's done, Belzian.
While these guys are kicking the tree, Yarvik's going to go over and flop down on the tree in frustration and pull out his pipe. And take it off.
Okay. The tree sags slightly under your weight. I need everyone to make perception checks at this point.
Result of 19 for Roger.
16 for Zippo.
Jaeger got 20.
26 for Belzian.
Okay. So Zippo and Jordan are both unaware. But when Yarvik sits down on the log, from somewhere to the southwest of you, in the trees, the rest of you hear a bird call. It's much louder than most of the birds in the area that have quieted as you passed underhead or underfoot of them in the trees.
Ulrich tries to mimic it.
Okay. Give me a deception check.
Okay. 14.
I guess it could also be a performance, but I figured deception would work.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, it's 14 for me.
Yeah, flavor-wise, you know.
Yeah.
The woods sound quieter.
While Ulrich is hooting off into the distance, can I take a closer look at the tree itself? Maybe it's just being observed. I don't know. Like maybe a nature check. Was it felt naturally? Did somebody? Is anything special about the tree? Are there any traps under it or anything like that?
Yeah, give me either survival or nature, your choice. Despite the tree being felled and laying on its side, it still has all its leaves on it.
So it's chopped or fell recently. It looks like on your map.
So-
It looks like it was pulled up by the roots.
Right.
Like, you know.
So while it has all appearances of being felled recently, the area where it was torn from the ground show otherwise. It's healed, it's dried, it's so in other words, it does not look like it should naturally.
Just share that with the group, and then.
Do you want me to just burn the tree out of the way?
It's not a bad idea as long as we don't burn the forest down around us.
I can't make any promises.
You said it's not a natural way for a tree to fall. Does that mean it's supernatural?
Or subnatural.
Winchester.
I mean, can we pick it up? Can we move the the tree?
You can try.
Yeah, Ulrich looks at Belzian and gestures to one end of the tree while he goes to the other.
At least we're not using this to go up a mine shaft. It's like moving a table again.
Heave ho, lads.
Did you want like a strength check or something?
Yeah, give me a strength check.
Because we're pretty strong dudes.
Pretty strong.
Strong. 19 for Belzian.
You're able to easily start dragging the tree out of the way, and you move it some to reveal a new path.
Oh, you strategically did not scroll up, so that could be revealed. That was pretty cool.
Through the break in the trees, Yarvik, you immediately, and those who are looking through, immediately see that there are tents and a wider path, and hundreds, not hundreds, but like lots of footfalls of horses immediately on the other side of the tree, as if those multitude of footfalls were masked prior to this screen, and once past the tree, they are no longer covered. At that point, you hear the sound of an alarm bell ring out through about 10 different areas in the trees ahead of you, and you hear the shouting of many people as the camp comes to alert. We're going to end session there for tonight.
All right.
They didn't believe your bird call, Ulrich.
Should we?
No, we should just burn the whole forest down.
No. We're applicants. We're applicants.
Yeah, maybe we could. Maybe.
That's right. We're just a bunch of farmhands who don't want to work there anymore.
That might pass for you burly looking fellas, but I don't know if you looked at me. I don't look like I could be working on a farm at any point
You
in
work
time.
with the chickens.
That's a bad choice also, because I'd be roasting them.
Right, that's exactly what you do.
Maybe I'm just the magic guy. I mean, they don't look like they have any magic guys, so everybody needs a magic guy, you know?
Give them their.
Who's gonna burn down a forest for you without torches? The magic guy. Who's going to possibly use shatter on a dude's face and blow it up like a 50% chance and is really kind of hoping it does? The magic guy.
Cave in a mine ceiling.
Yeah. Burn a bunch of spiders.
You're truly indispensable.
Eldritch Blast a bone naga, one-shotting it.
What would we do without you, Sipho?
Probably be dead by now, honestly.
So one thing I will say is next time I will probably remove many of the tree trunks so that the screen will be able to load, and I apologize. The effect was cool, but not worthwhile. So I will try and fix that by next time. Speaking of next time, we're going to need to figure that out before we go, but I will end session here. Everyone out there in Twitch land, thank you for joining us for session 11. We'll see you again at session 12.
This was
session 12, so session 13. Probably maybe in a couple weeks. So we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Take care. Thanks for.